It's your boy Rushmore Rick, and today we are reacting to college basketball players set up for murder.
You're a highly recruited college basketball player. After going from the streets of Chicago to Georgetown University on scholarship, you transfer to New Mexico State, have a breakout season, finally becoming a starter. You hear you're having a game against a rival school, and then the girl you've been chasing hears you'll be there, so she invites you to spend a night with her on campus. Unknown to you though, she's not alone, and setting you up to throw away everything
He didn't get set up by a BBL demon, did he? No.
you work for. On October 15th, 2022, a football game was taking place between the University of New Mexico and New Mexico State, and as is common at college football games, a fight broke out. Now, it's unclear how the dispute began, but seen clearly on videos uploaded by students are two New Mexico State basketball players, one of them being Mike Peake, and on the other side of the fight, a few UNM students that appear to have been on the losing side of this scuffle, something they would apparently remember. Brandon Travis, the man seen being picked up off the ground, was a 19-year-old medical student from California, and at the time of Mike Peake's upcoming basketball game, the video of the fight had been circulating around campus for about a month. And according to his friends, he had seen the video many times and likely wanted some revenge. Now here's where we get to Maya Hill, also known as Honey. She was a 17-year-old freshman at UNM at the time, and according to Maya, she had been texting Mike for some time. She claims that Mike was eager to meet up with her because he wanted to have sex, but they were at two different schools. And knowing that he was involved in a big fight just a few weeks prior at her school, it probably would have been wiser for her to come visit him. And this is where it gets confusing. Maya states that Brandon and his friends found out that she was texting Mike. From here, she says that they made her agree to lure him into a trap so they could beat him up. The problem with this is, I don't buy that Maya was forced to do anything. For Brandon and his friends to discover who she was texting, they had to have been close to her.
Exactly, and that's odd. Like if you just the pieces of that shouldn't even. You know how big these college campuses is? For the person to be involved in a fight and then for a girl to contact you and then she's friends with the guy that you beat up, that's clear setup. Clear.
Even more suspicious is the fact that she told police she first met Peake at the game where the fight occurred. Regardless, on November 18th, 2022, the New Mexico State basketball team arrives in Albuquerque a day early for their big game. The team checks into the Doubletree Hotel and are given a midnight curfew. Peake and two other players are at first not accounted for until 1:15 a.m. when assistant coach Taylor states he saw Mike Peake and two other men enter the hotel and point at the elevator. But they may have just been going to get dressed, as all three soon left the hotel again, possibly all on their way to meet women. Now Peake didn't ride with his two teammates, as he was texting Maya Hill letting her know that he was in town and trying to get invited to her dorm room, which he does. But she wasn't sitting in her dorm texting him. She was actually hanging out in Brandon's room with two other guys, so it doesn't seem very likely that she did anything against her will since she went to Brandon's dorm after midnight willingly. And in this room, the four of them went over the plan. Maya was to have Peake meet her near Coronado Hall, a larger co-ed dorm on campus, and walk him to a corner where Brandon and two other men would be waiting for him. And Brandon could finally get his payback. The problem with this is one that I've seen personally in my own
See, and this just a side point. I feel like a lot of the biggest downfall with men are these women, because look, you got yourself set up because you wanted to link a woman who friendly with the ops. It don't even make sense. It don't.
time at college. You get so caught up in living in a world full of your peers.
And some of these women got to be held accountable in this shit too, because it's like, what, like, you just being messy, like just messy shit,
and you forget where you are. And for a lot of kids, freshman year in college is the first time living without rules and restrictions. And this is how things go too far. Brandon and his friends seemingly intended to end Mike's basketball career since they chose to bring bats and even a gun for the planned setup. But coming from Chicago and worried about his safety, Mike also forgot where he was when he violated the policy by bringing his own firearm on the team bus ride to Albuquerque. And he likely knew that there would be someone wanting to do harm to him on campus if he was ever caught. But what he failed to see is that meeting this girl was simply not worth the risk at all.
At all.
But at 3 a.m., Peak finally meets up with Maya after she texts him asking him to hurry. And it was at this moment, after walking to a corner in the complex, the three men ran out of the shadows and Maya disappeared as she was instructed. Caught completely off guard, Mike was suddenly looking down a barrel with Brandon on the other end. And just then, one of the other men hit Mike in the knee with a bat before a small tussle ensued and Mike started to run away. Now, it was at this moment that both of their fates were sealed. And surrounded, Mike was backed against a wall, barely able to run away on an injured leg. But when Brandon noticed that Mike was also armed, he made the decision that cost him his life. He fired at Mike, striking him in the leg, causing Mike, still running, to fire back, striking and killing Brandon. Brandon's fate was now clear. He was gone. Now, as of 2024, the last of the court proceedings are going on, with Brandon's two co-conspirators being charged and pleading out to little time served, since I believe they were all first offenders. The 17-year-old Maya Hill took a plea deal where she only received 3 years of probation.
3 years probation for a setup that ended up with somebody losing their life. We gotta do better. This bitch need to be under the jail for at least 5 to 10.
It's still debatable whether she...
See, like, women in this country get away with so fucking much. They get away with so much.
Actually feels bad about the whole thing or not. But Mike Peak, a future NBA prospect, shortly after the judge ruled that he would not be charged since he acted in self-defense, he was still suspended indefinitely from his basketball program. When the police interviewed his assistant coaches, one coach remarked that Brandon may never play another second of basketball for that program, but what he really meant was he may never play a second of college basketball
again.
Ever again. No program was going to want to take on the baggage that Mike now had, with the coaching staff saying that they had never even gotten into contact with Mike's family.
I'm sure it's some JUCO teams. I'm sure it's some JUCO teams, some D3 teams, some D2 team. He may never play D1 again, but if he's able to fully get back to himself, and I'm sure some teams will still see some value in him. He may not be the most, you know what I'm saying, he ain't going to be a poster boy. He not going to the A, but he can make his money in some Euro leagues. They don't give a fuck about none of that.
Since he started, indicating that he didn't really have any family support at all. He seemingly completely disappeared as of 2024, and I can't seem to find anything about him. And he entered the transfer portal in 2023, but as of 2024, no program has taken a chance on him. And unfortunately, this is just another cautionary tale of lust. Mike was young, and maybe he couldn't see that meeting this girl wasn't worth whatever risk he thought it posed. And this girl, what was her actual motive for setting up such a thing?
Exactly. I don't understand that. I'm not sure what she had to gain. I'm not sure. But whatever. Fellas, you gotta be careful when you linking some of these women, especially because not everybody has your best interest in heart. You gotta look out for yourself. But that was today's video. It's your boy Rushmore Rick, and we're out. Like, comment, and sub, and binge the videos on the channel. We got tons of them, and we putting out tons of them. Let's go.